Hey gamers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net. It's been a while since I've seen you guys, so let's talk about what's going on. We're less than a month away from two future console releases, the PlayStation 4 launch and the Xbox One launch. And what I wanted to do for this week is basically prepare you guys for what's going to be coming onto these consoles when they come out, if for anybody who may be interested in picking one or the other up, or both. This video is going to focus specifically on the Xbox One launch, what's coming to the console, what features the console will have, what to expect when getting the console, that sort of thing. I will be doing a PS4 video, but that's going to be probably later on this week. So just be aware of that. If you're interested more in the PlayStation 4, stay tuned to this channel because a video for that will be coming as well. First, let's get the first things out of the way. The Xbox One will launch in my neck of the woods, North America, on November 22nd, 2013. It will retail for a price of $499 US. It will come with a controller, a version 2.0 of the Kinect, and the console itself. First off, out of the bat, it will also have three major exclusive retail games launching for it at around the same time. Not including any of the multi-platform releases at launch. You can expect Rise from Crytek to be a launch title. That has been confirmed. That is more of a Roman Centurion type game. And I know that a lot of people have compared it to Sony's God of War games and things like that, but God of War seems to be focused more on mythology, whereas Rise seems to be more of a realistic type historical game. Sword and shield type game, realistic, that sort of thing. Although the gameplay with button prompts and things like that look very similar. Another major game release for it is going to be Forza Motorsport 5, which is a game that was announced at around, I believe, at E3 this year. The great thing about Forza Motorsport 5 is that Major Nelson personally confirmed to me a couple of weeks ago that Forza 5 will be day one at 1080p 60 Hz native. Now, I know that a lot of people have been complaining that while the Xbox One will be a native 1080p system, none of the games that they've been mentioning are going to be 1080p for the system at launch, natively at least. It'll upsample and things like that. I think some people have mentioned that Rise is going to be at like about 900p or something like that, not 1080p. Well, these same people that have been mentioning that haven't brought up the fact that Forza 5 has been confirmed 60 Hz 1080p native. So I don't know if this is maybe hearsay or something like that. My information comes from the Major Nelson himself. He could have been lying, but he did have a game demo system plugged in and active to back his claims up. But please, for those of you who may be concerned that the Xbox One will not be able to do native resolutions as native frame rates and things like that, Forza 5, take a closer look at that game. But at least that's what I got from Major Nelson. I could be wrong, he could have been lying to me. But that's what I was told. So don't count out the Xbox One's HD display capabilities just yet, you know, that sort of thing. Because Forza can certainly handle it. The other major release, retail, which will be exclusive to the Xbox One at launch, is Dead Rising 3, which is the game that I'm retail game that I'm most interested in playing. It is the third game in the Dead Rising series. Think of it like basically Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with zombies, which is awesome. The cool thing about Dead Rising 3 is that Capcom has confirmed that it will take advantage of an improved version of Microsoft's Smart Glass technology that was announced a couple of years ago. It's been running, it's been compatible with the Xbox 360 for a while. It's available on iOS, Android, and Windows phones. And the cool thing about that is, well, you can control your Xbox Live account. You can do certain things with the Xbox 360 with it. Not a lot, unfortunately. Not a lot of games or apps in the Xbox 360 make great use of it for a second screen experience. However, Capcom has confirmed that the technology has been improved in the Xbox One. I guess the Xbox One is natively designed now to handle Smart Glass. and you'll be able to do exclusive missions through Smart Glass and have exclusive feature options and things like that if you happen to have a Smart Glass compatible phone. That is awesome, and I can't wait to see what they're going to take this further. There are going to be some other games down the road that will also take advantage of Smart Glass. Metal Gear Solid 5, which I know is a multi-platform game, has confirmed that the Xbox One version will make use of Smart Glass. They didn't really say what they're going to be doing with it, but just my point is that other games, not just exclusives, but multi-platforms as well, will be making use of this improved Smart Glass. I really think that's kind of cool, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. What else is coming out? Those are the three major retail games. There's also going to be some other multi-platform games, which if they don't make launch will either come sooner or after launch, or around that launch period, basically. Those games will include Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Call of Duty Ghosts. Basically major fall releases for the system should be out on the Xbox One. If they don't make release date, they could either come earlier than the system or slightly around the same time after this, maybe a couple of weeks after the system launches. But it should all be around that same time, or around the, if you're have some of these games pre-ordered that may be multi-platform games and you've chosen an Xbox One version, many of the publishers are launching Xbox One games side by side along with other games, along with other platforms of the same game. So if that includes early release for certain games, don't think of it as a scam or a fraud. It's just something that the publisher decided to do, and Microsoft is allowing it, I guess, or at the very least the retailers don't care. So you might get a copy of Call of Duty Ghosts a couple of days before you pick up your Xbox One. You won't be able to play it, but you'll have it. So don't think of that as weird, or you might have to send it back or something. They don't care. That's might happen. So just be aware of that. There are also going to be downloadable titles at retail, and to be perfectly honest, I'm really excited about some of the downloadable titles that have been coming to Xbox One on day one. In particular, Killer Instinct, which I think is the major release that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. I got to demo it in Boston last week. You can check my YouTube channel for that demo if you want to see that demo video or that Xbox One breakdown preview after the fact. I got to demo it with Princess Angel a couple of weeks ago in Boston. There will be a Xbox One branded arcade stick controller available alongside it. It's not going to be included in the Xbox One package. You'll have to buy it separately. That's what I got to play Killer Instinct on. Yeah, it's an arcade stick. It's got 6 buttons, not including the interface buttons and things like that. A joystick and a D-pad. I'm sure arcade buffs will like it. I'm probably not going to get one because sometimes they can get very expensive. And the new controllers alone for this system are pretty hefty on their price points. So if I do get one, it will probably be if I picked up a few other arcade games that are coming out, if they come out, or arcade style fighting games later on down the road or something that are compatible with it. But for those of you guys who are purchasing Xbox Ones just for Killer Instinct, just to play Killer Instinct, you will have an arcade stick. So, because it's ready, you will have one. So pre-order. Make sure just to pre-order it along with your system. So Killer Instinct will be out. There will be a retail version of Killer Instinct. It's called the Killer Instinct Penultimate Edition. It's going to be $60. It's exclusive to Microsoft stores. I originally thought this was kind of an interesting thing, and now I think it's just a complete waste of money. It's being developed by Microsoft as well as Penny Arcade, and the Penultimate Edition is basically, it's going to cost $60, which is the same as any full-price retail game for an Xbox One. The difference is it's not coming with a game disc. It is what is essentially an empty box. Penny Arcade has said that the way they designed it is literally going to be a box to display pins that are not even included with the box. It's going to come with two. So basically, you're paying a $20 premium over the highest price. I believe the highest price digital version of Killer Instinct or Killer Instinct Xbox One is $40 US, and that will get you all of the Season 1 content as it's released. All the characters, costumes, items, and a ported version of the arcade version of Killer Instinct $40 for all that does sound quite reasonable, especially given the fact that they're going to piecemeal this as a free-to-play game. Honestly, I can tell my friend L Train alone is interested in playing the original arcade Killer Instinct game day one, and we will certainly be recording that when the Xbox One launches next month. So stay tuned for that later on. But yeah, the Penultimate Edition will not include a disc. It will only include a download code for the $40 edition of the downloadable game. No extra content in that respect, and 2 pins. And the rest of it is going to be an empty box for other pins that are going to be coming on down the road, which they will charge for and they will give out for free at PAX. So basically you're paying a $20 premium for what is essentially an empty box and 2 free pins, and 2 pins. I don't think that's a worthwhile investment. If the thing came with a set of more pins, like maybe 7 pins or 8 pins in a disc, it would be worth it. But I do not believe that is worth it at all. It certainly doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, merit a $20 premium over a $40 version of the game. If you want Killer Instinct, you can download it for free. And if you want like a full version of Killer Instinct with all the characters and stuff like that, you can just pay for I think it's either a $20 edition of the game that doesn't include some extra stuff, or a $40 edition which will include everything at launch, including Killer Instinct Arcade port. So that's something to think about, certainly. Another game that I'm really looking forward to for download, which should be out day one, I haven't heard otherwise, and I have heard that it will be a day one release, Loco Cycle from Twisted Pixel. I love those guys at Twisted Pixel. I've loved their games up to this point. Captain, they're the guys who made Comic Jumper, The Gunstringer, Explosion Man and Miss Explosion Man and stuff like that, and this is their latest game. It's going to feature Freddy Rodriguez and the guy who did the voice of T-1000, the guy who was the T-1000, Robert Patrick and stuff like that. They're going to have their voiceover work. Don't know how I feel about it, but I'll play anything Twisted Pixel makes because I think they're great. Met them last year at PAX East, and they were a great bunch of guys, so I'm really looking forward to playing that. That should be out Xbox One and Xbox 360 at the Xbox One launch, so just be aware of that. Don't know how much it's going to cost. My guess is probably 15 to 20 bucks. Don't think it's going to cost more than that, but we'll see. That I'm also really looking forward to playing day one. At this point, basically, I'm more interested in some of the... there will be exclusive day one editions of the Xbox One console as well as the Xbox One retail games. We don't know exactly what that's going to entail other than the fact that it will include special boxes with marked day one edition and possibly some exclusive DLC. The Xbox One, however, day one edition will include an exclusive achievement and an exclusively branded controller that has a Xbox Day One Edition controller, so you'll be able to get that. The new Xbox One controller has really nothing, if you take a look at it, it's got nothing exclusive to it, basically, that you'll notice immediately picking it up. It weighs just about the same amount and is shaped just about the same amount as an Xbox 360 controller. But the cool thing about it is that it does have a lot of cool new stuff under the hood that you probably won't notice immediately. It has a kind of almost like a moving type vibration function that pulses through the controller. So you'll have, it almost feels like a surround sound for a controller basically for this rumble feature. So that's kind of cool, I thought. It also is about 15% at least more responsive than an Xbox 360 controller, so that's good. The retail version of a separate controller, the Xbox One is only going to come with one controller. Retail version of a second controller or an extra regular controller without a play and charge kit included is $60 retail. If you want a play and charge kit included with it, it's $75, which I think is kind of expensive. A play and charge kit by itself, I can't remember exactly how much it costs. I think it's anywhere from about 25 to 30 bucks, depending upon, honestly, I can't remember. It is certainly cheaper if you want an Xbox One controller with a play and charge kit. Buy it as a sync because you're going to be saving at least 10 bucks for it. But in that respect, $75 for a controller is still pretty expensive, I think. I mean, a DualShock 3 controller costs $55, and it has an internal battery and charge capabilities. You can't tell me that you couldn't have a rechargeable battery with an Xbox One controller and have it be 60, 65 or something like that. I don't know. Just seems like these accessories are going to be really driving up the price. The Xbox One will also include the Kinect, which will allow things like Skype in 1080p, as well as picture-in-picture streaming. So if you're streaming out to one of your various streaming websites like Twitch or Ustream or something like that, you will be able to put your face along with it, or if you're trying to record or something like that, which is what I plan on doing. I plan on doing some digital video capture of some of my gameplay and posting that at around launch for the Xbox One. If you want to do that, you can. They're not disallowing digital capture through HDMI like the PlayStation 3 does, so that's good. Probably the thing that's probably going to annoy a lot of people is probably going to be the Xbox One setup. When you get an Xbox One, it's going to require online registration. So if you don't have a broadband internet connection at your house, you can't play the Xbox One. It has to be set up on a network that has broadband access. So for those of you who have, if you don't have high-speed internet in your own home, you have to bring the Xbox One over to a friend's house that does have it. What you'll be able to do is you'll be able to, it basically requires a day one patch. Microsoft says it's probably not going to take that long to download this day one patch. We don't know exactly what it does. And you'll also need to register your Xbox One and your Xbox Live account information. If you've already got an Xbox Live account information, either from your original Xbox or Xbox 360, it will carry over. So just use your login credentials. Remember your Live account and password. You have a Microsoft account set up when you set up your Live account for the 360. So make sure you remember what your your Microsoft Live login information is. In some cases also you can use it, it's now also been bundled with your Skype account as well, so that might work. But if you have an Xbox Live account, you will need to probably remember what your username and password is for that sort of thing before logging into Live. But it will probably save you a couple of steps, like they'll already know what your name is and they'll already have a gamer tag already set up for you. Your achievements will carry over, which is great. So that all your Xbox 360 games for Windows Live and Windows Phone stats will all carry over. It will know who you are, which is awesome. I think that's pretty awesome. There probably will also be an update, either an update to Smart Glass or a new version of Smart Glass launching it around the same time, as well as a new firmware dashboard update for the Xbox 360. Microsoft announced when the Xbox One was announced that they would be bringing the Xbox One interface to the Xbox 360. I know a lot of people that hate the current Xbox 360 interface. They think it's cluttered and there's too many ads on it. Microsoft has promised that they're going to fix that. So even if you aren't picking up an Xbox One at launch, you probably will still be able to improve. They are improving the Xbox 360 experience. Just be aware, Xbox 360 games will not play on an Xbox One. If you intend to keep playing 360 games, you'll have to keep playing games on your One in order. I'm sorry, you'll have to keep playing your 360 games on your 360 to keep playing them. That's a bit of a mouthful. One final thing, Mountain Dew is doing a promotion with Microsoft this holiday season called the Every 2 Minutes promotion. For those of you who don't currently have an Xbox One pre-ordered, they are currently having, they're putting branded Mountain Dews out there for the Every 2 Minutes campaign, where you can sign up on their account on their site, and if you register download codes and things like that for Mountain Dew, and use those in like auctions and things like that for Xbox One prizes. They're also going to be on specially marked Doritos as well. That promotion officially started at the beginning of October, this month that I'm recording this in. The problem is, it's literally, I've only seen branded sodas in my area in the past couple of days. They sure took their sweet butt time getting this stuff out there. Whereas I remember when Xbox was doing that Halo 4 promotion last year, you couldn't throw a rock without finding the Master Chief on something. So I don't know how I feel about that. But the cool thing about this, what I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, is that Mountain Dew is bringing back Game Fuel with a whole new flavor. That's already been confirmed, and that will be part of the promotion. So branded Game Fuels will be available at your local convenience stores and things like that. I think that's awesome. Game Fuel was originally created for Halo 3's release. I think the last time we saw it in the United States was 2009, which was promotion for World of Warcraft. I'm so happy that it's back. I've never tried it myself, although I have picked it up. I have a sister that's a fan of Mountain Dew Code Red. I'm sorry, who has a friend who's a fan of Mountain Dew Code Red, and they confused it. When I picked up a Game Fuel and put it in a fridge, basically, and my sister's friend who likes Code Red tried it, or asked to try it, and I said, yeah, go ahead, I'm not going to drink it. It was just, I just picked it up for the collector's value. And they liked it. So if you're a fan of Code Red, you might end up liking that quite a bit. It's up to you. So I'm just happy that it's back because I'm just glad when these kind of promotions happen. I really like them. So I also wanted to do kind of like a Maniac's Tries, where we could have a few people here and we can try the different flavors of Mountain Dew. Not just Game Fuel is out right now, but I've seen Code Red is back. I've also seen that blue color, like a live voltage or high voltage or something like that, and whiteout, in fact, in some cases. But I haven't seen a single Game Fuel on shelves yet, and I've been looking. I've been keeping tabs in my local area convenience stores and stuff like that for Game Fuel, and I just haven't found it. So take for that what you will. Hopefully it'll be out. You'll find them on shelves by the beginning of November. So that's how to prepare you guys for Xbox One's launch. For those of you guys who may be servicemen defending the country, that are planning on taking your Xbox Ones with you when you go to serve the country overseas, just be aware the Xbox One will only activate online in the countries that they're launched in. So if you will have to register your Xbox One while you're still here and download the most recent firmware for the system before you can take the system overseas. However, once you do this, Microsoft has promised that the system will work overseas as long as that has been taken care of. So for those of you who may be defending the country in any branch of the armed forces, I recommend if you are planning on picking up an Xbox One this holiday season, don't just pick it up and ship it overseas. You have to unlock it here first. Just a tip from me. Until next time, guys, there will be a PlayStation 4 video for preparations next time. We are going to be getting a Xbox One at launch, and L-Train and I, it's already been confirmed, will be picking up this system. So please stay tuned at around the Xbox One's launch for a whole smattering of Xbox One setups, unboxings, gameplay. It's going to be here on this channel first, guys, for Xbox One's launch. So until next time, guys, I'll see you for PS4 preparation videos. This is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Over and out.